Previously on High Stakes Poker, former MLB pitcher Michael Schwimmer introduced himself with a bang.
You like that 9-10, don't you?
Coming in hot. You gotta ride the hot hand.
Everything's coming up roses.
Tom Dwan returned to the scene of his early conquests.
All right.
It was high stakes like we remembered.
The money they're playing for is real. It's their own money. It's coming right out of their pocket.
I'm all in.
$300,000 in cash with a 4 high.
Now the pot is almost $550,000. And we're now looking at the biggest pot in the history of high stakes poker.
I'm all in. These ladies ain't ladies unless they're your ladies. Got their hands on a monster, and that's what it takes. And you got what it takes, and you can play high stakes.
Welcome back to our exclusive suite at Aria Resort and Casino for another edition of High Stakes Poker. Everything is classed up a bit for this season, and the players haven't missed a beat. It's 400 and 800 no-limit hold'em, and the game is definitely playing bigger than that. And after 12 years, hard to believe, back here with Gabe Kaplan.
Just when I thought we were out,
Either you or Bryn had
they pull us back in.
I should have thought.
But it's good to see you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Dude, what a great spot to run like God. Wow.
Tom Dwan back to his old
Maybe,
tricks.
I don't know. I never
Raises
saw
the
the guy make a
10,000.
mistake all night, so I'm like really one.
And they're talking about Michael
Schwimmer.
Schwimmer, who played in our last
I never
episode.
heard of him. He played perfect poker.
He's a former baseball player,
Yeah.
and he's got this company that they buy a lot of guys in the minor leagues, and they buy a piece of their contract.
Oh, wow.
They return fortune. It's still going, but he's made a fortune.
Oh, sweet, sweet. Oh, man, he seems like a really good guy. It's fun. But,
And maybe he'll take a
but
piece of me in the next
I
tournament.
promise you. I mean, I really didn't see the guy make a. He didn't make any blunders, did he?
Dwan takes it with a continuation bet.
I wouldn't say his game's too tip-top shape.
I mean, he played pretty high number of hands. He had you out when he played 2-1, as many hands as you did. That's pretty strong.
He's a nice
But-
guy.
When you play 2-1 to Rick.
Every time we looked him up, he had it.
Yeah, if you watch the tape, Schwimmer was throwing a perfect game.
Nice hand, buddy.
Time for me to go. Thank you. See, I got a free 20 out of it.
Yeah, playing twice as many as Rick, that's a little tough.
Twice as many as Rick is really hard to do. Actually, it's almost impossible.
Rick's just waking up.
Chris.
Yeah, he said Rick.
No, but he seemed to like you a lot. You've known him for a little bit?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Quite sharp.
John raises it up with his 6 deuce of hearts, and he's got 4 callers.
Deuce, 9-4 on the flop.
Bryn has flopped an open-end straight draw. He's 44% to win this pot.
Dwan makes an $18,000 continuation bet.
I think this is a spot that Bryn might raise and probably is going to. And he calls.
Six on the turn.
Disaster card for Dwan. Makes Bryn straight and makes Dwan 2 pair. We will see some fireworks now. I would think that Dwan is putting Bryn on a hand like ace-9.
42,000. He bets 42,000.
Bryn has the absolute nuts here. What he's thinking about is maybe Dwan is drawing dead. He doesn't want to lose him with big raise. In a tournament, trapping is a big part of winning tournaments, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just calls here.
He does just that.
Bren does not want to see a spade here. Or a 3. I mean, that's about the absolute worst card. That's going to really kill his action. Also makes him think that maybe Dwan has a flush draw.
Check. Oh, wow.
Straight.
Yeah. Oh, dirty river, dude. You could have made a fortune. Wow.
I hit the flush on the river.
Could have lost a fortune too.
Yeah. Bringing price me and I got told it. So weird.
That's a very good river for you, Tom.
There were better ones.
There were.
Yes, JRB, there were.
Oh, looky here.
Hi.
That's Lynn G sitting down for the first time at high stakes poker.
I have no idea who she is. Do you have any information on her?
Says here she's invested in some startups, recreational
The
player.
last guy sitting in here.
He did really well.
He played a lot, but he played a lot of hands. So
Okay.
we expect you to do the same.
I'll try not to disappoint.
A lot of hands. A lot of hands. That's a very hot seat. He won,
Beautiful.
I think he won like 250 or 300 in 2 hours.
Okay. So I can expect like 100 an hour?
Looks like it.
Bren flops a pair of 8s.
6 on the turn.
1,000 is going to take this spot. Probably the cheapest pot you're ever going to see between these two guys.
Let's take a look at the stack sizes brought to you by Poker King. Lin Ji bought in for 200 grand.
That's the minimum buy-in. I am really intrigued to see how she's going to play.
Okay. Well, look, you don't often see a beautiful young lady playing against these big-time poker stars, right?
No, you don't. You're right about that. So I'm intrigued to see how she's going to play.
You obviously have, when that guy checked, you obviously have bluffs that hand you had 10-6 too. Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like that's.
Juan's got ace-king, and he's got
Unlisted,
two guys
yeah,
tagging
little
along. Brandon with the
turn
4s.
check back river.
Rick with jack-8
So-
suited.
King 5-10 on the flop.
Rick's got a flush draw, which is always dangerous. Juan hits his king.
55.
Dwan bets 5,500.
Rick just calls, and that's the end of Brandon.
Jack on the turn.
Now Rick's got a pair. Rick looking for a club. And he catches an 8. I think we'll see a value bet from Juan. Probably putting Rick on king, queen, or jack, queen. Rick giving the chips the Solomon shuffle.
$15.
15,000.
Oh, I thought I was going to be beat, but now I think I definitely have the winner. I got 2 pair. Thought I was going to get a whining big call. I'm never folding this hand.
I mean, you don't want to see the 150,000. 15 seems good.
No, he's already said I can't fold.
Sometimes you've just made your mind up. Doesn't matter the
A
amount.
little greedy value there.
A little bit. A little bit greedy.
I've made Rick change his mind before in that spot. Very, very rare. It's very, very rare.
Yeah, but your face looks different than mine.
Just another day at the office for some of these players, which is why they can be so relaxed, playing for such big stakes.
I was just so happy he made a little bet and I was winning because I thought for sure I was making a bad call. I was like, I'm just gonna call here because I have a feeling he has me beat.
He learned that from his buddy. When his buddy had 9-10, he bet the little
He didn't make the speech though. He didn't make the
cheesy little.
I think I was gonna call him actually if he shipped it.
If he just bet, did you river an ace with enough flush draws?
Jacks. No. Versus Schrimmer when that hand.
When he said I hate that ace, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna bet here, right?
Especially to bet 20K was so weird, right?
The hilarious thing is, when you say you hate the ace and then you bet like tiny.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm sure he's ace 10 or something. Yeah.
Do you run it twice?
Aces for Milan.
That was the best.
He almost got me to shove the turn there.
Mini raise to
I was just-
Rip
2,000.
it in with the jacks.
Yeah, I was just like, how can he possibly have it? How
Fucking had it.
did you run it twice? And then I was like, what am I doing? you know?
The whole speech.
Only got Rick Solomon to come
Oh,
in.
no draw. That's good for me. Do you run it twice?
The no draw that's good for me. I wanted to do
There's
something.
an ace
dumb,
on
but
the
you
flop.
run it-
3 on the turn. Milan bets 15,000.
Rick insta calls.
Jack on the river.
Ace is full for JRB.
How about that?
And he checks it, which is the right play. And it looks like Rick's making the right play because he can't win with a 10 high.
35,000.
JRB is just hoping Rick has 3 jacks. He's thinking how much to raise.
He raises 100,000.
Just about $99,999. Too much.
JRB.
That was scary.
Off it's on.
I hate when I'm hoping for a call and I get raised. It's just the worst feeling.
I was hoping for a fold.
JRB's family life has changed in recent years, but at the table, he's the same, risking meaningful money on a regular basis.
That's the thing with high stakes poker is there's going to be emotions involved. And I remember a time I was like particularly pumped up thinking, wow, let me play where, each day I'm playing, it's not going to affect my life or my livelihood. And, that's just not going to be the case. Each time I'm playing, it's like, this makes a dent in what happens tomorrow.
I never saw it.
Oh, it's actually worth it. It has the violin players from the Titanic just going down as you see me, like a train crashing slowly. It's just, it really was brilliantly done.
How much is that?
Couple of queens for Nikki.
And there's a double straddle on 3,200. Let's see what Nick makes.
Is that a raise or a straddle?
Remember when
They make it
we were talking about
8,000.
him being done straddling?
8,000?
I think I took you over an hour, right? Lost it. I took the under an
We were like too close to him.
Bryn's going to call, and of course with 10-3, Rick's going to call.
Of course.
hour. I'm the buffer. Take one lose me for being the buffer.
Yeah, we got a nice little pot here, boys.
But I can't tell this one. Pick me.
So what did you play it before where you're on the other side of the table and you bet how long till he
Deuce
straddles
6-4 on the flop.
Check, check, check.
Depends on what he did in the hand before.
Nick's thinking about what the right amount pot size bet would be fitting here.
You bet a few thousand on like the over 5
But he
minutes.
checks.
You know,
5 on the turn.
Rick makes a straight.
And then a minute later, he's like, all right, one last one.
And Rick is going to bet the straight.
20,000.
And now, Nick doesn't know what to do. He knows Rick is very capable of having a 3 in his hand. but he looks like a poopy if he goes out. So I think he's going to call his 20,000.
There you go.
The only thing good that can happen for Nick in this hand is another 3, and they'll split the pot.
King on the river.
That could save Nick some money if Rick bets big.
Bets 50,000.
That's big. Nick knows that Rick is very capable of having a 3 set, 2 pair here and betting it. He's also capable of bluffing. Make a good lay down.
Yeah. On the flop?
No, on the turn I hit turn, but then I pick up flush draw too. I have 3 with the flush draw.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nick was never really comfortable in that hand with Rick having the double straddle and the texture of that flop.
Sometimes 10-3 gets there against 2 queens. Nicky fingers avoids a disaster with a good river fold.
No more straddles lasted for 6 seconds.
Well, this is my lucky number, so
just especially after what you said, he can't let me do him up over here at all.
Yeah.
Got to straddle every
Ace
time.
4 suited for Steven.
He made the
6s for
no
Rick,
straddle
5s
combo
for Kenny.
And I gave him under. I bought the under for 27 minutes. It lasted 7 seconds. We were just talking about it, right?
How much you win?
I didn't take any money. Actually, I didn't have time.
22.
Rick's going to raise to 22,000.
Yeah, he said 22.
Yeah, he just won the last hand, and he's taking a shot here with his 6s. And Brandon with the ace 4s out. And Bryn's calling.
Five, 7, 4 on the flop.
4s in the nut flush draw.
And Solomon bets 30,000.
Let's see how Bryn plays his set here. Looks like he's just calling.
8 on the turn.
Rick makes it straight. Brandon would have had the nut flush, but that pre-flop bet discouraged him. So far, Rick is zigging and zagging at the right times in this hand. All he has to do is avoid a pair on the river.
Solomon bets 55,000.
And Bryn's going to call. And Rick's got to hope the board does not pair.
Ace on the river.
All in.
And he goes all in.
Wow. I think he's going all in because he's putting Bryn on the right hand. He thinks Bryn has just what he has, a set, or maybe 2 pair, 8s and 7s. And he thinks Bryn is capable of calling him. He also knows that Bryn knows that he is capable of bluffing. He's probably seen Rick or heard of Rick make big bluffs like this. I don't know if he's going to get called, but it is a really good play.
Well, if he calls, we're going to have the biggest pot this season, over $850,000. And the season just got started.
Call.
And he does.
Got it straight.
You're good.
Ace 4 clubs.
Brandon is thinking of what could have been, but Rick did everything right in that hand.
Looks like Bryn is digging for more money.
It's not lunch.
Nice.
No big deal. Bryn goes into his bag to rebuy for a few $100,000. That on the heels of the biggest pot we've seen so far, over $850,000. Let's take a look at the stack sizes brought to you by Poker King. King Solomon on top, almost at $1 million.
Brandon probably still thinking about what could have been. Flop has defended his big blind. She bets another 2,000.
Four on the turn. And she bets 13,000.
Lynn showing a little heart here.
Call.
$10 on the river.
Will Lynn fire a third barrel? Yes. Shows a lot of heart.
Yeah, $32,000.
32,000.
That 10 was a good card for Brandon. Would she be betting an overpair when the 10's paired? She would have to be afraid of a 10. But she's showing no fear. Good poker face.
What the hell you got? You don't have to tell me. I'm just kind of curious.
What was the question?
What do you have?
Well, for 32,000, you get to see both cards. It's quite the deal, isn't it?
What?
It's quite. Well, I don't really know if that's a good deal or not.
It was a good answer, though.
I fold.
Wow.
That's in.
I'm surprised.
Bluff. Nice job. Nice job.
I think his conversation backfired on
I really
Brandon.
did.
Lynn's demeanor was so
You
professional
deserve that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
that he really convinced himself she
Very
had
nice
something.
play.
Lynn G is new to high stakes, and she brings an intensity with her that you might not expect.
Oh, I have such a competitive streak. I've always had it. Like, I think poker's actually been really good for me because now, like, I'm learning how to take losses better, and like, I can have a really big losing day and still just like go out to dinner, go for a night out or whatever, and just like be okay. Wanting to play higher.
We like higher around here.
80,000.
One thing JR's not going to like, he was away from the table
What?
and he had
No
aces.
idea.
He comes back with a big
That's a glass. I don't know where they found it.
Pimp cup.
Take it.
Where'd you get it?
Oh my goodness.
They had it out there for me.
It's probably going to cost you a lot of money.
Whole bottle there?
Raise 13,000.
Hope you got some really good wine
It's
in
actually
there.
glass too. This is Las Vegas.
Pretty impressive for a Las Vegas souvenir.
How do you like that? A glass
Yep. The producer's like, hey,
cup in Las Vegas is made out of
we got a
glass.
glass for you. All right, there we go. Delicious.
7-10-4 on the flop.
Both
like,
players
big
flop
hands and everything,
pairs.
so.
Juan's got top pair.
Glass is only like for me and Phil Helmuth. That's about it.
Yeah.
16.
I would look ridiculous.
16. 16.
Tom bet 16,000.
Insta call from Mr. Solomon. And JRB would still be in the lead if he didn't get his big cup.
Queen on the turn.
I had you too. I figured it.
I mean, of course you had me.
No, not the hand in here. I
Yeah.
didn't have much at all.
Why can't I just have a 10, Brandon? I can, can't I?
Check, check.
You really can't get it.
7
Oh, I
on the
can't?
river.
Okay.
10,000.
Not in the
Rick decides to bet.
pair.
Pair. Oh, you probably got better on that.
Juan takes it down with the 10s.
Value. No.
How much was in that pot, AJ?
That was an $80,000 pot.
Well, that's the most expensive glass of wine I ever heard of.
Somewhere in the vicinity of that shot, Jean-Robert Bellon is drinking a really, really, really expensive glass of wine.
I just remembered. It was like, maybe it's 3 years ago. I was rolling into the World Series of Poker, and I saw you in a brand new Porsche just hit. Like, there's 3 cars in the whole parking lot, and you got in a car accident with a brand new Porsche.
Yeah,
you remember that?
You're the only one.
I was right there.
You and Nick.
That was unreal.
That's so funny, dude. I swear there's 3 cars in the whole parking lot. And Bryn manages to get in a car accident with a brand spanking new Porsche. I've never seen somebody so like non-phased by a car accident, dude. He was so relaxed. You'd have thought he just like bumped elbows.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, just like ding.
Maybe before. I'm guessing it didn't after.
Yeah, exactly.
Bryn's taking it very well, but right after you lose 500,000, what you really don't want to hear about is the time you wrecked your Porsche.
Steven raised to 2,300 with 8s. Juan called with Ace-7 suited.
Let's see if we get a raise here with the jacks from Bryn.
Thanks, honey. That way I don't like.
Yeah.
Thank you. Need a lot of room for this.
I know, I can tell.
Yes, raised it to 12,000.
And Mr. Solomon has kings.
Ooh.
And surprisingly, he just calls.
Cool.
This brings Brandon
Cool.
and Juan with his A7. 4-way to the flop. Let's see what happens, Mr. AJ.
8s and an ace.
Well, I'll tell you what happens. Brandon is flop quads. He checks. And Juan with the only ace.
Gonna bet 13,000.
13,000.
Juan is hoping nobody calls. And Bren says, I'm losing too much. I'm calling that 13. And Rick says, I'm winning too much. I'm throwing my kings away. And Mr. Quads just calls, which is the right play.
3 kings.
Queen on the turn.
Check.
Check.
Juan is very suspicious of Brandon's overcall.
Sigma.
10 on the river.
Juan was hoping for an ace, Bryn was hoping for a jack, and they're both lucky they didn't catch.
Brandon bet 77,000.
Bet 70.
I think Juan is done with this hand. I say there's about 0 chance he's calling. If Juan were at a poker table in Pompeii and Vesuvius just erupted, he would find a way to throw his hand away. It's going to take him a little while, but he will find a way to throw this hand away. I mean, the clay and the ash is coming down. He's still going to throw the hand away.
Sure, you got it.
There he goes. Mm-hmm. And so will Bryn.
Turn some weird into a bluff there.
Did you get one through there? Come on. It's too fun.
It's too fun. You talked into it last time, buddy. Can't show 2 bluffs now. I won't get in.
I don't know if he was bluffing or not, but I can tell you 100% that I would not have called. That's for
How
sure.
long is it gonna wait for?
Why is that, John? Yeah, sure. Let me see. Let me
Felt like he was bluffing, but I don't know how he could be. And I had a piece of
tough combination.
Car dealership mogul Brandon Stephen finds a lot of similarities with his business and his poker play.
Somebody asked me the other night, it's like, how do you guys play poker for so many hours? The comment I made was, well, when we get older, it's the best way I know to stay competitive. And I think staying competitive keeps us young. And so in business, I'm competitive every day. I want to win, and winning is building teams and taking care of people. And reading people in business is just as important as taking care of people, because you have to know when somebody's uncomfortable or comfortable with their, with their job and why they're performing or not performing, and etc. Same in poker. Reading people is the same thing, but it's harder these days to read people than I think it used to be, or maybe I'm just easier to be read now. These guys, some of these, like the guys I'm playing with today, are all insanely good. I have no business even being at this table. So.
Yep, I'm a veteran talker.
Actually,
And a veteran poker player, or just a veteran talker?
Learned how to play cards.
Ace queen for JRB.
Regardless of the talking.
Raised to 3,000.
Dang it, he stopped ordering again.
That's the trick. Except it's not actually. As we
I checked.
And a better ace. Big slick for Mr. Nick.
Three.
Yes.
a little too dumb.
Who's going to raise? And JRB knows it.
$20,000.
I'll take the odds. Yes. I see.
4-8 jack on the flop.
That's a miss. AJ, they both missed.
I can see that.
Let's see what happens.
I have the chicken though.
It's going to bet 20,000.
Continuation.
You're sitting with 150 more?
It was, no, I had like 160 to start.
How much more do you have? Because I'm going to go out. I want to know how much more you have. Because if you had 170 instead of 160, I might go all in.
Feels a little funny though. I'm gonna let you take it, Nick. Feels a little funky though, I won't lie.
Wow.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
You're making it like 50.
Not one of those I would easily hide.
There you go. Don't have much money.
Feels a little funky.
Broke living.
Stack Size is brought to you by Poker King. The big story here, Bryn Kenny made somewhat of a comeback, and Lin G's hanging in there.
That's our extensive high-stakes poker library. Yeah.
Calling you on the flop, probably 50-50 right there.
Okay.
Pretty sure Dwan would have called you.
A couple threes over there? Couple threes.
Watch work.
No one would fold threes, right?
Yeah, I think half the table would have called you with my hand, half the table would have folded.
The smarter half or the dumber half?
No, Rick, Bryn, and Tom would have called.
So is that the smarter or the?
Yeah, I still don't know.
That's the half.
Jacks for Nick, raises to 2,000.
You're welcome.
Kenny calls. Steven's got 10s.
He thought momentarily about raising, but stopped himself.
And 4-3-10 on the flop.
Brandon only flops a set this time, no quads. Nick checks. He likes to check over pairs. This time he's fortunate. 5 of clubs makes a flush possible.
Steven bets 4,000.
Nick has the overpair. Doesn't have a club, but he doesn't want to give either of these guys a free draw at a club. One of them could have the ace or king of clubs.
13,500.
That gets rid of Bryn. It's not going to get rid of Brandon. Quick glance as Rick Solomon texts Gucci.
Send more hats.
Brandon just calls and hopes to bear the board.
Ace on the river.
Check, check.
I'd say so.
Pretty hand. Not on that board, baby, but pretty hand.
Running pretty good today.
I watched an old episode and just remembered how much I loved this show.
Yeah. Yeah, the show was amazing.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. Yeah, it's just like, I could still watch reruns and stuff. It was great.
Rick raises to 3,000 with Jack 2 suited.
Deuce. AJ, you're going back.
Yeah.
You're reverting. There are no twos in poker.
Jack 10 for Dwan. And he raises to 13,000.
This is call in the West.
And Rick makes a loose call with Jack Deuce.
Jack 6-3 on the flop.
Now with these two players, anytime both of them flop top pair, it can develop into a major situation.
Rick bets 10,000. Dwan calls.
He was thinking about maybe raising, but decided just to call.
10 on the turn.
Two pair, top two pair for Mr. Dwan. And Rick is not going to stop.
He bets 22,000.
He thinks jacks might still be good.
Raised to 86,000.
That surprised Rick.
86.
He was not putting Dwan on. Dwan is hoping Rick has ace jack, king jack.
And pull the jack.
You did?
Yeah. Real going with it. Oh, yeah. He's happy. He's happy.
Night 2 of high stakes poker about to wrap up. Let's see what the next few hands bring. 10-9 suited for Rick Solomon. Raises to 5,000.
Dwan has ace queen.
Re-raise 18.
You know I'm folding jack now. He's picking on it.
When you get
He
there,
raises to 18,000.
Was it check flop?
No, I bet under bet. I bet 1,000 on the flop.
He checked and you bet.
Yeah.
Lynn releases an ace jack.
Sad.
And JRB calls with ace queen also.
I had two of his bluffing cards, man.
Really?
I had the king 9. That's good for you.
Couple of 10s and a queen on the flop.
Big flop. Everybody's got something. Dwan and JRB got top pair, top king, and Rick's flop to set.
Dwan bets 21,000.
JRB might actually be thinking about raising here. He's got the queens. He's also got a 3 flush. And he's not worried about Rick, the guy he should be worried about.
And he calls.
The price of poker is going up.
Raise 63.
Raised to 63,000.
Dwan knows that Rick is very capable of making this play on a draw.
Call.
Does one of these players have a worse queen? And is the other one on a draw? That's what JRB is thinking, but I don't think he'll call here.
Deuce on the turn.
Deuce of diamonds. Flush is possible. And if Rick were drawing at something, it would probably be a flush, and he's made it. So Rick's check is very suspicious to Dwan.
Fourth 10 on the river.
Our second quads of the night. Quick check from Rick Solomon. Dwan probably believes that Rick has a queen also. And if Rick has a queen, it's going to take a lot of money to get Rick out of this pot. And Rick could have quads.
I got quads.
Good check back. I just knew it.
You knew I quads?
No, I knew that you're either folding or you have quads. How about that?
Ooh, that was almost painful. That was almost did something stupid.
I knew you were going to.
It's very, very close.
Next time on High Stakes Poker, Jean Robert supersizes his stack and his glass.
It's a big glass, but even a big glass needs a refill once in a while.
You're the only one that can pull that glass off.
Tom Dwan faces another tough decision.
Stupid wine glass. It's gonna get a donation from me.
Dude, how many full houses have you had cracked tonight?
And another pot finds its way over $500,000.
Spot.